Hello everyone, my name is Mrs. P and this is Mrs. P Budgets. I am getting ready to take you on a little bit of history with our family and how we got where we are today. I'm going to try to remain anonymous for right now. I am in my 40s. I have been married for 26 years. I have 3 children, 2 adult sons living on their own, and a 13-year-old daughter. I am a teacher. I work in the middle school, and that is one of the reasons I want to remain anonymous. I have my daughter as a student, and I just don't want her to be embarrassed if she has her friends stumble across my channel. So for right now, I'm just going to stay Mrs. P. My husband works as a tech for a large corporation. We live in a small town, and I would classify our income as middle class, maybe on the lower end of middle class. Our gross pay is around, I don't know, maybe $125,000, give or take. So yeah, we've been married for 26 years. We got married young, and became parents right away. The thing about me and my husband, he and I come from very different socioeconomic backgrounds. He was raised more upper middle class, and I was raised kind of upper poor class. I didn't know we were poor. I didn't know, those things. We had a nice home. We just didn't have a lot of stuff. My parents both worked jobs. My dad was self-employed. My mom worked several part-time jobs, so money was always tight. We had very different ways of seeing money. He saw money as a reward for working hard, and I saw it as survival, what you needed to have groceries and a house to live in. So I am very frugal because of that, living paycheck to paycheck. And there was times where one little crisis in my family, one lost paycheck could make a huge difference in even if we had food on the table. We never had brand new things. I had hand-me-down clothes. We had used furniture. Vacations were camping in a tent, and or going off to visit family and staying with them, which I had a lot of fun. I have no problems with the way I was raised. I loved my family. They did the very best they could, and I never knew we were struggling, honestly. He came from a family who wanted to, have the nice things. I would call it the keeping up with the Joneses, although they were probably the Jones. So they had a nice lifestyle, and they used a lot of credit to purchase things, but money wasn't, an issue. So I don't know. He's just used to having nicer things, and I'm used to cutting corners. So throughout the years, we've had, a lot of the same money issues that I had growing up. Living in a small town, there's not a whole lot of opportunities to make, good money. So we just, always struggled with our income. Where we are today is completely different than where we were when I was, raising my boys when they were young. Like I said, they're in their adult years now, 26 and 24, and then we have a 13-year-old. And she seems to have, a better lifestyle than my boys did because we are, doing better financially. Back in the 2010 years, we had our own business. My husband had his own business. I've always worked in education. And he had, that was when the market, was pretty bad, and his business really suffered. We tried to make it last as long as we could, but it went downhill very quickly. I mean, it was just like night and day. Somebody turned off the switch. And one of the outcomes from that is we lost our home. That was around 2011, 2012. My daughter was just, a little thing then. But that was pretty devastating. And you would think that losing our home would have been the wake-up call for us to try to get our finances, on track and get our crap together, but that wasn't really our wake-up call. I would say our wake-up call actually came closer to a couple years ago. We did manage to rebuild our credit and get back on our feet. We have a home. We have nice cars. We have nice things. But we still live paycheck to paycheck. And as an educator, I get paid monthly. And it was where the state was taking out summer pay. Teachers are 10-month employees. And so I'd always been used to the state taking out the money, so I got paid 12 months. But that changed shortly after COVID. And I did not prepare for that and did not plan for that. So, I've got notes over here so I don't forget what I'm going to say. So, I want to talk about how we got where we are now. 2023 has been a pretty productive year, and you'll see that. But why we had a better year in 2023 is basically because of how what we experienced in 2022. All right, so that was one of the first summers that I did not get paid, and we had not planned for, what we would do without my income. In fact, we didn't even realize that my income made that big of a difference, I think. I don't know. We didn't. I did budgeting, semi-budgeting. I just kind of, I knew what had to be paid, when it got paid, that sort of thing. But we just were never really on track with how much was going out and how much was coming in. So when I didn't get paid in the summer of 2022, we ended up having to spend a lot of our money on credit cards because we didn't have the money. So groceries, gas, we even did some vacations, or a vacation, fully on credit cards. And so that was a huge mistake. And we just kept living the same lifestyle that we had been, even without my income. We didn't cut corners anywhere. We just kept on going. So when December came around, I started getting paid again in August. We just continued on. Things were fun. But December 2022, we didn't have a budget, or we didn't have any money saved for Christmas. That's when things started kind of catching up, and I was like trying to, figure out, why do we not have any money? And so I started looking more at our bills and what we owed, and saw that we were spending more on our debts than we actually made. Our income was less than what we had to pay each month, which is why we just kept getting in a deeper hole. So our solution when we wanted something that we didn't have money for was either apply for another credit card, get credit somewhere to purchase what we needed. We always had the mindset, it's just another payment. We can pay payments on it, whatever, we can afford it. But really we couldn't. So here is the debt picture that I woke up with in December of 2022. All right, so if you see, this is just debt. This is not groceries, mortgage, car payments, any of those things. This is purely loans that we had. I don't know if you can see all of this. I really don't want to go through all this because our debt picture for 2023 is completely different. But including our cars, this doesn't include student loans, and this doesn't include our mortgage, but we had 33 debts. Furniture, I don't know if you can see that, but we had furnitures. We found those crazy Affirms, Uplift. We had, I think, 3 Affirm loans for car tires, and Christmas was actually one of the Affirm loans. Home Depot and Lowe's. We had, if you'll notice here, we have his and her Amazons, his and her Discover, his and her Wayfair. I had 3 Capital One cards. He had a Walmart card, I had a Walmart card. He had a Bank of America card, I had a Bank of America card. We just had way too much. Credit cards, some of them were as little as $200, and some of them were as much as $5,000. But altogether, the credit cards, we had $43,512 on credit cards. Vehicles, I have a car, he has a truck. This John Deere is both a Gator and a tractor, or I guess riding lawnmower, I don't know. Anyway, that is something else that we have that is a pretty big a payment each month. But these are our vehicles. So vehicles totaled $56,560. So a total of consumer debt, not counting mortgage, not counting student loans, was $100,000. So when I totaled all this up, and granted, some of these payments were very little, like $30, $40 here and there. With an income, we would make probably, I don't know, between $6,000 and $7,000 a month. Bring home pay still wasn't enough to pay all of this, plus our bills that we had to live. So this is where I decided, hey, I got to do something. Well, my first thought was to look for ways to save money on our variable expenses. I did a no spend January. So I got on YouTube, I was looking for pantry challenges, no spend challenges, things like that to help, try to cut corners there, because I knew that the grocery budget was one area, eating out was one area we could cut. In my search for ways to cut corners, I stumbled across some budgeting videos. I don't remember the first one I found, but I do know that it was a cash stuffing video. And I was intrigued because I thought, well, that's an easy way that we could, stick to a budget and try to pay off some of this debt. Also, in the year of 2023, I knew that I had several bonuses coming through. As a teacher, we had things we could sell around the house. My husband, he has toys galore, so we started making changes, drastic changes, and eliminated a lot of this debt. So if you see, let's see here, here is our debt picture for January of this year. Now, if you notice, I'm going to pull this back over here because I wanted to show you something. The ones that are in blue, those are the debts that we still have out of this group. So out of 33 debts, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 debts still. But that's pretty darn good, okay? So here is our debt picture for January of 2023. I'm going to do an overview first. This one that's in gray, I'll talk about it in a second. These 2 yellow ones, I highlighted in yellow. I wanted you to know that these are, what do you call those? Transfer balance cards. So we got, as we started paying off debt, we started increasing our credit scores. So we started getting offers for 0 interest credit cards. And so we decided to take some of our balances that we still had left over and put those onto other cards with 0% interest, because we know that interest, when we were paying off some of those bills and debts, gosh, if we had say a $40 minimum payment, 38 of it would go to interest and $2 would come off the balance. So we saw that we couldn't really make headway if we had so much debt going to interest. So that's why we started looking for 0% loans. All right, so let's look a little closer here. All right, I'm sorry about the shadows. Me and my husband has worked really hard to try to figure out how to get rid of the shadows. All right, let me scooch this over. All right, so this first debt here, Xbox. Now, My husband had that. It was one of the loans that we had, you know, over on the 2023 debt picture. It is a 0% interest loan. I am not going to include that like in the debt snowball because it will pay for itself with the 0% interest. I don't know what kind of loan it is, but so it's coming down very quickly, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. This Discover, I don't know why I didn't highlight this. Well, yeah, this was one of the ones that we had left over on the other one. We owed over $2,000 on it last year. I've got it down to $129.80. Now, it was on a 0% interest. It had to be paid off by February, and I'm very close. That'll be, I will pay it off probably in the next couple weeks. So I'm pretty happy about that. The next one that we're going to work on, and actually this one's going to kind of pay itself off. The minimum payment is $30. We owe $421, but if I pay $60 per month, so just double the balance or the minimum payment, it'll be paid off when it needs to be paid off, which is May of 2024. The next one is Barclay. This one is at a low interest. It's 8%. The balance on it is $1,287.13. Minimum payment is $77. That one I'll start working on once I get the Discover paid off. The Lowe's I'm just going to pay $60 a month and just leave it at that. But this Barclay, I'm going to start. That's going to be the next one I'm going to snowball. Then the after that will be my credit union credit card. It's got an interest rate of 13%. I may switch these two because this one does have a little bit higher of an interest rate. So I don't know. You guys tell me if that's what I should do, but they're so close to the same balance that I'm not really sure which one I should work on. All right, this Citibank. This is a balance transfer card. This is a new card, but it's got just old balances on it. It's not got anything new on there. It's 0% interest until August of 2025. So once we get these debts paid off, this one will be what we're going to work on to get down. We're going to pay the minimum payment for now, and then we're going to start chunking big stuff at it. Uplift. This one's green, because this is a whoops. This is one that a new one. Even though we were trying to get out of debt, we succumbed to peer pressure, I guess you could say. This is a cruise. It's 0% interest. The payments are $157. My niece and nephew, we've only been on one vacation with them. My nephew is kind of like my child. And we're very close with them, and we wanted to go, you know, spend some time with them, go on a cruise, whatever. And they found one. It just didn't fit in our budget. And I did an Uplift loan. I know better, but it was 0% interest. It is our vacation. I see it as, I guess, no different than just sticking cash aside for it. But it is something that we will not do again. Next time, we're going to save the actual money and do it the right way. All right, so that one, it will be paid. If we just keep paying the regular payments, it'll be paid off in December also. All right, John Deere. This is the Gator tractor. It is also at 0%, so we will just keep paying the payments like we're supposed to. It should be paid off in December. So we have a lot of them being paid off in December, which will free up a lot of money each month that we can put toward the Citibank and the Wells Fargo, which is the big one. This credit card is also 0% interest. It's the balance transfer. It's got no new debt on it. It's just got old debt. But it has to be paid off July of 2025. So I'm hoping that once December hits and we free up all of those other payments, or actually hopefully sooner, we can just start throwing money at this. My plan is, if there is any chance that we won't get this paid off before the 0% interest runs out, we will just find another balance transfer card and then start the process over again so that we can get that paid off. Our car, we've got it paid down. I think we owed, I don't know, let's see here, what was it? In 2023, we owed $21,000, over $21,000. The interest rate's not terrible. It's 4.5%. Payments $499. This one comes directly out of my paycheck. So when you see my income, you'll see that it doesn't look like I make as much, but my car payment comes out, plus, you know, life insurance, health insurance, vision insurance, all the things that also comes out, and retirement comes out of my check. So this one also. So I don't know when this is going to be paid off. I can't even see that far in the future right now. I know that we owe like another maybe, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years on it. But I hope to pay it off before then. Then my husband's truck, he's got a little bit better interest rate. It's 3.95. His payment's $470. That one is, you know, just regular pay it out of our account. $21,179. Back in 2023, he owed almost $26,000 on it. So we've paid it down quite a bit this year. And then, so here I've totaled up our credit card debt, which is $14,270, which is a lot less than our credit card debt at the beginning of last year, which was over $40,000. Vehicles, $42,000 worth of vehicles. That's the car, the truck, and the Gator slash, what do you call that? The lawnmower. And then, so overall, our consumer debt is $56,000. $1,881 goes to our debt every month, just in minimum payments. So we need to get that way down. That's gross. All right, something I didn't include in my, can you see that? Oh, I'm sorry. Our debt picture last year was student loans. And that's because they were all on forbearance or whatever you call it. Nobody was having to make payments at that time. That was shame on me for not taking advantage of the zero interest for 3 years, because that would have really helped this balance. Now, this $83,000 isn't just my student loans. Both of my boys have gone through and graduated from college. My oldest son went to a private college. He was on an athletic scholarship and wanted to play ball, and the college he went to was very expensive. Student loans and the scholarships that he got was not enough to cover it. So within this $83,000 is a parent loan for him. There's also a parent loan for my other son, who went to a state college with an academic scholarship, and which paid quite a bit of his money, or his tuition and housing and all that stuff. The problem with his college experience was that COVID hit right in the middle of his college years, and he struggled with doing online classes, and so he kind of took a break from college. He kept his grades up, all the things, but it took him a long time to get finished. So he ran out of money from student loans. So in order for him to finish, and not only that, he started out in one major, switched majors, then ended up wanting a double major, so it just extended his time. So he exhausted all of the student loans and scholarships and stuff. So I took out a smaller parent loan, but that is also part of this. So my student loans are probably around, I don't know, $36,000, and the rest of it is parent loans. So here we've got a minimum payment for my student loans is $293. The parent loans is $539. And I've yet to, this amount I keep sticking aside since, what was it, August or September, I think, maybe, that the student loans started back. But for whatever reason, mine has not yet. I keep getting notifications that they're postponing it, putting in administrative forbearance. And I don't even know what that means. But I'm not paying anything on it, but I'm sticking this money aside so that when it comes time, I'm just going to sock it all to them. They're not charging me interest right now while it's doing what it's doing, but I don't know. I'm assuming I keep getting a thing saying this month it'll start. Then at the end of this month, then I get another one saying no, next month. So I don't know when it's done that since October. So our total debt with student loans, not counting our mortgage, is $139,696. So, which I know there's some people that have much worse student loans than that. Or not student loans, I'm sorry, much worse debt than that. But it's still way more than what I feel comfortable with. So on this channel, I am going to budget. I'm going to look for advice from the experts out there. I've done so much research. I've done so much watching and binging on videos from some of my favorites, The Simple Budget, Aesthetic Dollar, Lisa Marie. So I have got some good people that I've followed and watched how they've budgeted, but I could still use some, guidance and advice on how we should tackle this. And if my plan doesn't make sense, or if you think of something better, please share, because I would love to get this taken care of. We have a pretty good income, but we do have a lot of bills and payments, and times are tough. Groceries are more expensive. Gas is more expensive. Everything's gone up. Insurance and electricity, everything. So it's just made a huge impact. So what our good income felt like or looks like on paper doesn't stretch as far as we need it to. So anyway, that's what this channel is going to be about, and I look forward to sharing my journey with you. Thank you. Bye.